It has a cow on it. Cell phone? Nope. Okay. Yep, we'll check with the middle schoolers. Okay. Come over here, ma'am. Pick one of the sodas that you would like to drink. Perfect. Okay. So in front of you, you have a candle, a lighter, and a soda, okay? The goal of the game is to drink your entire soda before the other person. If you throw up, please make your way to the back of that room before it comes out. Do you need the garbage can up here? Okay. No, we're going to make her do it. Okay, so here's what you do. In order to drink your soda, your candle has to be lit. So the first thing you have to do, you pull back on the button, back, and then light. So you light your candle. I can do it. Wait for it. Okay. You light your candle, you set your lighter down, then you drink your soda. You cannot have your lighter and your soda in your hands at the same time. It's one or the other. Make sense? Okay? So your candle's lit, you pop open your soda, you start drinking it. But what you want to do is blow out your opponent's candle, because once the candle's blown out, they have to set their soda down, relight it before they can drink their soda again. Makes sense? So you're focusing on your candle, but also on theirs, because you don't want them to drink their soda. Does that make sense? Everyone? Sounds good? Okay. Oh, sorry. I can't give you a head start. Okay. You can't open it yet. Not until your candle's lit. On your marks. Oh, here, practice lighting your lighters, though, because you got to pull back and click. Okay, on your marks, get set, go! It felt like rap was just another passion. Never thought I'd be Grammys talking about my blow out her candle! Blow out her candle! How did you explain what happened? I promise we ain't planning. Blow out her candle! Blow out her candle! She's drinking! Still looking for the pattern. Come on. What would it take to make you believe? More fire from the put your soda down. The honest truth is that you ain't got the get his candle! Get his candle! You on this journey. It all started with me. What's up? What would it take to make you believe? More fire from the and if you spill your soda, you're automatically disqualified, so be careful. But let me take you on this journey. Yeah, most of the things I thought I'd never do, I did those, and I ain't nothing but a man standing up on his tiptoes. Shout out to Kirk Franklin. Before he close it up. I'm what happens when hip-hop bless all the saints sin. I wouldn't call it gospel music, but I'm Christian, no. And it's what happened when a Christian flow. That was funny, because I really got a home in this industry. Leave him it seems like he hits our out to be almost done. I feel like he's spitting on it. No power in him, but I'm too hard to understand. I'm an algorithm. Is it empty? Oh, good job, Dylan. How much do you have left? Oh, buddy, it's okay. There you go. Congratulations. Good job, guys. It don't matter. I own the label, and guess what? I'ma sign more.
Fine. I'm glad we didn't burn anything down. Yeah, you're glad too? Okay. I honestly, for the life of me, have never seen a game with a candle in it. So, has anybody else played a game with a candle in it? Other than the people who just played right now. You've played a game with a candle in it. What game? Okay. Cool. I didn't expect anybody to say yes, but anyway, we're going to transition to a time of worship, so let's stand and sing together.
When night has fallen, when fear is coming, still you're calling me. When faith is lost and my hope exhausted, you will be my strength. My mind says I'm not good enough, my season. You keep repeating promises to me. Oh, now there's no stopping when you have started. Till it's complete. When my mind says I'm not good enough, God, you're enough for me. Yeah, I decided I'm not giving up. You won't give up on me. You won't give up on me. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out, I can't let go. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out, I can't let go. Echo in my soul. My mind says I'm not good enough. God, you're enough for me. Yeah, I've decided I'm not giving up. You won't give up on me. You won't give up on me. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out, breaking out. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo, echo in my soul.
Yeah, he won't let you go. Here we go. Just one word, you calm the storm that surrounds me. Just one word, and in the darkness you shine. Just one touch, I feel the presence of heaven. Just one touch, my eyes are open to see. My heart can't help but believe. Oh, there's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a mountain that He can move. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can do. Just one word, you heal what's broken inside me. Just one word, and you revive every dream. Just one touch, I feel the power of heaven. Just one touch, my eyes are open to see. My heart can't help but believe. Oh, there's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a mountain that He can move. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. There's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a freezing wall He can't break through. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do.
I will believe for greater things. There's no power like the power of Jesus. Let faith arise, let all agree. There's no power like the power of Jesus. I will believe for greater things. There's no power like the power of Jesus. Let faith arise, let all agree. There's no power like the power of Jesus. I will believe for greater things. There's no power like the power of Jesus. Let faith arise, let all agree. There's no power like his power. There's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a mountain that he can move. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. Oh, there's nothing that our God can't do. There's not a prison wall he can't break through. Oh, praise the name that makes a way. There's nothing that our God can't do. Oh, 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 I will believe for greater things. There's no power like the power of Jesus. Let faith arise, let all agree. There's no power like the power of Jesus.
Yeah. All right, we're going to invite Kelsey Phillips up for our voices.
All right. If I can have a helper move this table again, that would be great. Yes. Oh, my mask. I can take that off. Thank you. Thank you, dear. All right. So I think most, if not all of you, have seen my face before. If you haven't, hi, this is my face. So I have you guys for 20 minutes-ish. So I just want to open up our time in prayer together. So if you would please fold your hands and close your eyes. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for today. Thank you that we have our students here safely, that they are just loving to come here and learn more about you, God. It's such a blessing. I feel very honored to be able to share tonight. I pray that you will open the students' hearts, that your words will be what they need to hear, and that I forego what I would choose to say and let you speak through me, Father. I pray these things in your name. Amen. So, I know somebody who struggles with anxiety. I know someone who struggles with depression. I know someone who struggles with trying to be perfect and keeping it all together. I also know someone who struggles with what other people think about them. I know someone who struggles with these things because that someone is me. Now, I've struggled with anxiety and depression since I was probably in middle school. I've always been a pretty anxious kid, and that part goes back to elementary school. I'd always say that I wasn't feeling good and had stomach aches. But I didn't know that that was anxiety until much later on in life. When I was going through a lot of harder things in my life, and I was feeling anxious and depressed, I didn't really know that it was okay to feel that way. I thought that because I was a Christian, that I was supposed to have it all together. I thought that because I was a Christian, I shouldn't be struggling with these things because, after all, God is powerful, and I should trust him, so why should I feel anxious about this? Now, when I was younger, my dad was a pastor, and my mom was a worship leader at a church, little church in Amro. It was super cute. But because they were in places of leadership, I was constantly being watched by other people, especially at school. I felt the pressure to not make a mistake. I felt the pressure to never answer a question wrong or to never act in a way that people would think was unchristian-like or just maybe not the most appropriate. And that's exhausting. I don't know if you guys have ever felt that, but that is exhausting. And I kind of got into this attitude of, well, if people are going to look for a show, I'm going to give them one. That was not the right route for me to take because that led into a lot of poor choices on my end. And a lot of those poor choices led into a lot more anxiety, a lot more depression, and a lifelong dose of pain that I will forever walk through. Now, the good news is I know I have a God who loves me so fiercely and could never not love me no matter what mistake that I made. But I digress. I'll get back to my message now. I, at that time, just needed to know that it was okay to struggle with those things. So if you don't take anything else away from tonight, just take this away. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to be in the mess of anxiety and perfectionism and depression. Those things are human, and we all are, in fact, human, so we're going to struggle with those things. In the Bible, there are quite a few people who also deal with depression and anxiety and the struggle to be perfect. But for right now, I want to focus on David, because I think he is one of our prime examples of what it means to be stuck, but to rejoice anyway. So in Psalms 143, verses 4 and then 7 and 8, it says, I am losing all hope. I am paralyzed with fear. Come quickly, Lord, and answer me, for my depression deepens. Don't turn away from me, or I will die. Let me hear of your unfailing love each morning, for I am trusting you. Show me where to walk, for I give myself to you. So David is going back and forth with this lamenting and his desire to be pulled out of his yuck. And in the same breath, he is saying, but God, I trust you. I trust that you will pull me through this. In Psalm 94, verse 18 and 19, it says, I cried out, I am slipping, but your unfailing love, O Lord, supported me. When doubts fill my mind, your comfort gave me renewed hope and cheer. Lamenting and rejoicing all in the same breath. So we talked a little bit about why I felt the pressure to be perfect and to kind of keep it all together. But we didn't stay in that church forever. My dad wasn't a pastor forever. And when I got into high school, we switched churches. You might think that that would have provided a lot of comfort, but in reality, it just added on to my anxiety because now I was at a new church with new people, and I felt like I didn't have a purpose. I wasn't being watched anymore. People didn't really know who I was. I felt more and more lost, and my anxiety and depression spiraled. This led to an extremely unhealthy and abusive relationship in my younger years of high school. With that relationship, I was searching for myself in somebody else that wasn't Jesus. And because of that, that person was able to take advantage in a lot of different ways. That brought on that lifelong pain that I will always walk through, but I have Jesus on my side, and I know I'll be okay. But with that, again, the anxiety and depression continued to spiral. I felt a huge amount of shame. I felt shameful for falling into that relationship. I felt shameful that I was still struggling. I felt shameful that I couldn't make the right choice. And it was hard, and I kept getting stuck. Now, through all of this mess, I had a group of friends that wasn't the best, and I had a group of friends who were actually pretty cool. Within those two groups, there was a mix of believers and non-believers. So with our first group, things that they would tell me when I would try and talk about what I was feeling, well, if you just trusted God more, have you prayed about it? Yep. The Bible says, don't be anxious about anything, but in prayer and repetition. Don't you believe that God has your back? And some of my non-believing friends would say things like, I thought your God would have protected you from this. Don't your church friends support you? Aren't you a Christian? You must have done something real bad to be this stuck. So as you can see, those things aren't very supportive. So what do you think happened? Do you think I just magically felt better, or do you think that yet again the anxiety and depression started to spiral? I'll give you a hint, it was the second one. But after I got adjusted to being in a new church and finding true friends who knew how to love me well, some of the phrases started to shift a little bit. So then I started hearing things like, I'm so sorry you're struggling with this. Can I pray for you? That really stinks. I'm sorry. How can I help? Do you want to talk about it? And some of my non-believing friends who still loved me dearly, I'm so sorry you're struggling with this. What do you need right now? That really stinks. How can I help? Do you want to talk about it? With these friendships, I was finally able to start trusting again, and I started that healing process, which was wonderful. Proverbs 12:25 says, worry weighs a person down, but an encouraging word cheers a person up. I needed people who knew how to speak to my heart and cheer me up. And I needed people who knew how to point me to God's truth. So what can you do? What can you do if you are a person who is struggling with these kinds of things? First and foremost, know that you're not alone. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, the temptations in your life are no different than the ones that others experience. And God is faithful. He will not allow the temptation to be more than what you can stand. When you are tempted, he will show you a way out so that you can endure. When I was stuck in my mess, now that I'm out of it, I saw so many ways that God was trying to reach for my attention. And I saw throughout all of the hard years, he never left my side. Even though I felt like I was stuck in the trenches, I knew he was there with me. I questioned why he didn't pull me out of them. But once I was out, I had realized he didn't do that because the fire above wasn't stopping. It wasn't time to pull me out yet. Reach out to those people that you know will love you best. Reach out to the ones who you know will offer you the support that you need. Don't listen to the friends who tell you, well, if they start any sentence with, if you just, walk away. Because that's not what you need to hear. You need to hear love and God's truth. Know that God does truly have your back. And sometimes when you're in that moment, your head might know that, but your heart might really not feel that. And that's okay. Ask people to pray for you and seek the guidance from the Lord, because ultimately he is the one who will get you through it. He will provide the way. What can you do for a friend that you know is struggling? Just be there. Listen to them. Hear them out. Try not to be judgmental. I know sometimes when we don't experience the same things, It's hard to be understanding, but try your best. Ask if you can pray over them. Now, this is important, and if you know my roommate Anna, she'll tell you that I say this quite often. If I'm not ready to hear her tell me how many wonderful things God is going to do in my life, I tell her, I need a minute. I can be positive tomorrow. I know deep down that God has wonderful things planned for my life. But if I am not in a place where I'm ready to hear that, it's not going to make me feel better. In fact, sometimes it makes me feel like more angry because I feel like my feelings are being dismissed. So if they're not ready to hear you pray over them, that's okay. But still pray for them on your own time because I'm sure they really do want it. Don't silver line it. This is my biggest pet peeve. If somebody tells you that they just failed their math test, don't say, well, at least your dog didn't die. I know that sounds pretty drastic, but I have heard that before. Don't tell them, oh, if I just got a D on my writing assignment, at least I didn't fail it, at least it's not an F. Don't do that, because that makes it worse more often than not. If you would like to draw out the positives and they're ready to hear them, start there. Say, hey, you're loved. I'm here. I'm listening. But most importantly, just sit with them, even if it's uncomfortable. Don't let them feel like they're alone. And if you're in a place that you can't be that person for them, maybe you're struggling too. That's okay. You can find someone else who can be a support to them and can be a support to you as well. Proverbs 27:9 says, oil and perfume make the heart glad. So does the sweetness of a friend's counsel that comes from the heart. Be their friend, comfort them, whether it's just listening, praying over them, or maybe just talking through what's happening. Proverbs 27:10 says, never abandon a friend, either yours or your father's. When disaster strikes, you won't have to ask your brother for assistance. It's better to go to a neighbor than to go to a brother who might be far away. So this is where I always say it's so important to be in community with one another. You are each other's biggest advocates and biggest supports when you come together under the house of God. So I know this is a lot thrown at you guys, but ultimately I want you to know that if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here. It's literally my job, and I love it so much. I love it so much I went to school for it. And I got 2 degrees in it, because that's how much I love helping people. So when I say I'm here to listen and I'm here to talk, I truly am happy to do so. If you feel like you need help because you no longer want to live, there's a number up there. Call that number. Talk to somebody from the suicide hotline. They are trained professionals who help people with this every day. And if you just want to text somebody, maybe you have just a high level of anxiety, you're going through a panic attack. Maybe it is depression. Maybe you're just super stressed out. If you text the Hope Line, a professional counselor will be texting you back, and they're going to help you through whatever is going on. So there is a little slice of blue paper under your chairs, and for those who are not in chairs, I'm sorry I did not slide them underneath you physically. But we do have a few extras in the back if you were to want one or need one. That just tells you and reminds you that you guys matter, you are loved, and on the flip side is those numbers in case if you were to ever need them, or in case if you have a friend who needs them. All in all, be there for each other, lean on one another, and trust that the Lord's going to pull you out of this. I think we have one more worship song, so I'm going to invite the worship team back up. Thank you guys for letting me share some of my story with you tonight.
It's okay. It happened to Pastor Allen once. It just pushes on. There we go. All right. Thanks, Kelsey. We're gonna respond in worship. So let's stand and sing.
I've searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise, treasures of faith, never enough. You came along and put me back together. Is now satisfied here in your love. Oh, there's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing is better than you. I'm not afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws. Lord, you've seen them all, and you still call me friend. 'Cause the God of the mountain is the God of the valley. Not a place your mercy and grace won't find me again. Oh, there's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing is better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing is better than you. You turn mourning to dancing. Beauty for ashes, you turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn grace into gardens. You turn bones into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can. Oh, there's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing is better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing is better than you.
guys all know Max could sing? Woo! Awesome. So good to be led by your peers. I love it. All right, you guys are just about ready to go, but I just want to give you a couple quick announcements. So next week, we're going to be doing things a little bit different in this large group time. We're going to be doing a community discussion on drugs and marijuana specifically. And so it's going to be a very safe place to talk, but it's going to be an open dialogue about what you guys know and what you've experienced. But none of it is going to be going on your file or anything, so you don't have to worry about anyone knowing or writing down your answers. But we are going to have some people leading that discussion so that they can get some better information on how to best communicate with students and how to best help parents communicate with you guys as well. And so they're really trying to be a bridge for both of that. So I was in a discussion with parents tonight. It was super cool, really interesting, and so I'm really looking forward to doing this next week with you guys. And then the week after is our last week of CSM for the school year. I know, yes, thank you. But that also means we're going to be doing a party. And so I know in the years past we've done barn parties and different things like that. We're going to be doing it here just because of coming out of the COVID season. I didn't want to bring a bunch of students over to somebody's house in this climate. And so we're going to be doing it here. It's going to be awesome. The last week we'll have a big party. There will be no regular program, but we'll do different games and things like that. So continue to invite your friends. And then on top of that, I got a summer schedule coming out. How many of you would be interested in doing a high school only Six Flags trip at some point?
Yeah.
All right, that's good because I have one scheduled for August. So stay tuned. I'll give you more information on that. Otherwise, thank you for being here, and we'll see you on Sunday or next week. Come Sunday, buy burritos from the Memphis trip.